Hi there, welcome back to the Game Master platform. I'm Danny McKeever. I'm going to go into the next detail on campaign building. This one I'm going to really figure out. In the previous video, we figured out our overview and our campaign summary. Now I'm going to start to peel back the onion and go deeper into the modules, encounters, and really identifying areas that I need to flesh out in detail. Let me log in and we'll get going. So, if you remember last time, I was working on the Lost Valley of the Orcs. This is what we had. Cool eclipse, quick summary. I haven't done a lot to it. What I have done is I've come in and I've just bolded some of the different sections. So now I'm going to walk you through how I think about taking it to the next level. And it's really about, I like to go through and read some of the details. So, like here in the beginning, once upon a time, an unforgiving valley carved by the cruelty of jagged mountains, 3 orc tribes. So I'm going to come in and I bold this because I know I need to build out details on these 3 orc tribes. For each one, I'm going to take their name. I'm going to figure out who their ruler is. I'm going to figure out, build maybe some a unique story for each tribe, maybe some unique images. But that, so I need to know I need to go deeper there. Every day a clash of iron, so they're always fighting every day. Great. So a never ending war. But one day, the routine is broken by a celestial spectacle. I'm going to bold this. This is something as a GM I want to write a description for. I want my PCs to experience this, and I want to think through how they're going to experience this. Um, some ominous light. Some shamans spoke about a foretold figure. I need to figure out what that is. To rise amongst the darkness, each vying for. So here, Tension Sword tribe leaders seek to identify this new leader, each vying for who they want to be their next leader. This is really interesting. So, how does this come to fruition? Is there tests that they bring to bear? Are the different shamans, doing different rituals to figure out who the next leader is? Like, what does this look like? So this is an area I'm going to spend some time thinking about. And already off the top of my head, I can see a combination of the warring stops. The shamans from the different tribes come together to align on what does this mean, a new leader? Like, what are the rules of this new thing? So that's something that comes to my head right now. Um, so here it says, as forces align on an all or nothing confrontation amidst the dying light of the eclipse. I'm going to change this here. I don't think I'm going to do like this big crescendo of a battle. It's going to be more of like, how do the PCs influence this? And actually, it might be like, as a result, the PCs, the tribes never align and there is this big battle, but it's probably not going to be during the eclipse. So this is an area I need to think about. uh a new routine emerges from the ashes. Okay, the moral of the story. Okay, it's PCs must discern allies from enemies. I like this idea. So I like the idea of the PCs having some sort of ally in one of the orc camps. And what does that look like? I'm not sure yet, but that will be, or maybe it's part of their background or something like that. So that's something I'm going to think about. Group adventures came to be through a combination of fate and necessity. Each character came its own background. Orcish half orc with lineage. This is interesting here. So imagine a half orc with lineage tied to one of the tribes. That is super cool. So I already know I'm gonna build a background of a player character that has this. A mage intrigued by the prophecies. And this is awesome. A spy with agendas of their own. 3 really interesting backstories right there. So I'm gonna flesh that out. Okay, so the journey was triggered by one of 3 options: a vision, a message, or an encounter. This is what I really got excited about. I'm going to do something like this. This is my encounter one here. Even though I might use a combination of other things here, but I want to start with this like encounter with a mysterious orc. Why? How does the encounter play out? How do the PCs get involved? Those type of things. So in the Eclipse of Steel, they're drawn to an epic narrative set against the backdrop of ancient valley steeped in hostiles. Trying to determine the fate of the Orcish tribe. Blah blah blah. Okay. So it unfolds in three parts. It's the foreboding shadow of the eclipse. The PCs must forge uncertain alliances and divine the truth of prophecy. Huh. So I'm going to think about this. What are these alliances? They navigate through challenges engaging with each tribe. So right here, when I think there's three tribes, I'm thinking session one, session two, session three, session four. 4 sessions. Session one is about what's going to happen with the first tribe. Session two, the second tribe. Session three, the third tribe. Or maybe I blend session three and session four where the crescendo happens, in that moment. So that's what I'm thinking about here. That might, and then through these different engagements, different information will be exposed. So this is what I'm already thinking about. Each one of these tribes, there'll be a sandbox that the PCs can explore, but I'm going to have railroads on from the town to these tribes. I need to connect them. So I'll railroad from the sandbox of the town to these other sandboxes. So there's a high stakes confrontation looms. Decisions made will cement the PC's legacy, steering the valley towards it. Okay. So here are the outcomes. They can retreat, success, stalemate. So I'll need to think through these because this is, depending on what the PCs do, these are the three outcomes. And then let's see. The Wreath of Chieftains, an Eclipse Forged Blade. Ooh, that's cool. Shaman's Pact. Okay, cool. So, anyways, this is a relatively short video, but what I've done is I've gone through and I've highlighted each one of these. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the AI and I'm going to create a new chat. And I'm going to say, I'm going to copy this first one and I'm going to go through each thing I bolded. And I'm going to say, you know, I want to go into detail around this tribe. I'm going to say, give me the name of its leader, shaman, and Elise. Um, make them unique and hide to the story. So now what you see is I'm going into detail now. I'm starting to think about the Gashtok tribe. Who's the leader? Brothgar. And it starts to give me some interesting information about this. So I'm going to go each thing I bullet, I'm going to start to ask questions about it and I'm going to save it off. So here I'm going to come in and this will be named Gashadot and I'm going to save this. So now I will always have this in my memory that I can always reference to going forward. Anyways, that gives you a sense of how I start to take my next steps. I'm going to spend some time with this, going one by one. I'll come back in the next video and give you more details as we start to go to the encounter level. Stay tuned.